It's time for Let's Chat with Russtek, a podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs just like you. When starting out, entrepreneurs often feel they need to go it alone, and I'm here to tell you that's just not the case. Entrepreneurs have a lot of questions, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Nick Russell, and this is Let's Chat with Russtek. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Chat with Russtek. My name is Nick Russell, and today I want to talk about BlackBerry. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see I'm holding up my BlackBerry Key 2, which is an Android BlackBerry phone that was made by a company called TCL out in China. Now, if you're a tech nerd like me, or just have any sort of business or tech info on any of your feeds, you'll have seen that as of January 4th last week, BlackBerry is quote unquote dead. Now, not these Android-based BlackBerries, but the old school BlackBerries, like the two that I have behind me, kind of awkwardly pointing to them on the YouTube video if you're listening to this. But I have two BlackBerries behind me, and they are the Bold 9900 and one of the Curves taken apart in shadow boxes. Now, those two BlackBerries completely dead. Well, I mean, those specifically are because they're taken apart, but the Bolds, the Curves, all those old BlackBerries with BlackBerry OS on them, and then even the ones that came out after that, like the Passport, the Classic, and all those phones that have BlackBerry 10 OS on it, BlackBerry killed those. They're done. You will no longer be able to make calls, send text messages, nothing. They're basically a brick, and they're dead. Now, that said, anybody that has the TCL phones like the Key 2 here, or the Key 1, the DTEX 50 and 60, which were not good phones, or the Motion, those are still working. The only one really getting support, though, is the Key 2. That's still getting the security patches for Android. And the brand new BlackBerry, 5G BlackBerry, that's going to, well, was supposed to come out last year, and is going to come out, knock on wood, in 2022 from Onward Mobility. Obviously, that will work because it's a brand new phone coming out. But who cares? Who really cares, other than me and a few other select insiders and fanboys? Who cares about BlackBerry? Now, there has to be a reason why I'm telling you this, and hopefully you're still here listening or watching and wondering why I'm talking about BlackBerry. Now, I'll use that as a sort of a hook. It's a very odd topic, and not many people talk about it. So hopefully I got your attention. And the reason I started with that is because I want to talk about something that Russell Brunson talks about in his Dotcom Secrets book called Hook Story Offer. Now, if you've been reading my blogs or following along with these podcasts, they all have a similar theme, especially my blogs. In my blogs, I always start out with a story. The post on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or LinkedIn, that's kind of my hook to get you to open and read the blog. So I want to hook you in with a catchy caption. I want to have a headline, something to hook you in that makes you want to read that blog. And then in that blog, what I'll do is I'll tell a bit of a story to kind of help you and get you to relate with me a little bit more in what I want to provide. So from that there, I'll tell a little bit of a story and then transition into providing some value. Now, that story that I tell will transition into the value that I'm going to provide you. Now, I'm going to do the same thing here. So kind of listen and watch on what I'm doing, because I already talked about the BlackBerry. I talked about the Key 2 and how the old BlackBerries are dead, especially the ones behind me. But in Hook Story Offer, the way Russell Brunson teaches that is you want to relate to your audience. Okay. You want to tell a bit of a story and kind of transition into providing value to your audience, because we know who our audience is. We talked about that last week. And then once you provide them value, now you have the ability to present them with an offer. Now, I want to say before you do that, before you put out an offer, I want to make sure that you're following the 80-20 rule. You don't want to constantly push an offer to your audience, because the more you're trying to sell, it's going to seem very pitchy, and your audience is just going to eventually slowly start leaving. They don't want to be offered. They want to be provided with value. They want to learn. So if you follow that 80-20 rule, that's a really good thing to stick by. Provide way more value and then slide in an offer here or there. Now, one of the other cool things, and I've used this quite a few times in speeches on stage, and I've used this in webinars as well. Now, if you're listening to this podcast, I'm holding my BlackBerry up. Now, if I were to offer you this BlackBerry and said, I'm going to sell you this BlackBerry for $1,000, you're going to look at me and laugh. This is a phone that came out in 2018. The specs on it aren't that great. It's got a physical keyboard, so it takes up a lot of real estate, a lot of screen real estate. So if you're a gamer or you want to watch YouTube videos on it, you really can't do a whole heck of a lot other than sending emails, texting, scrolling through social media. Now, there are some cool features. The keyboard itself is a trackpad. So if you're an old school BlackBerry user, or even just remember the old school BlackBerries that had that little trackball or trackpad kind of situated right here, well, now the whole keyboard's like that. That's a cool feature, but it's not enough to get you to pay $1,000. I mean, if I wanted to open Facebook, I could hold down the F key and it'll automatically open Facebook. Now, I had the phone turned off, so it's not distracting. But if I hold down F, it'll open up Facebook. If I hold down I, it'll open up Instagram. It's what I told this thing to do. I created those shortcuts. But again, that's still not enough to get you to pay $1,000 for this phone that's a few years old. Now, what if I said, I'm going to sell you this phone and I'm not going to wipe it. Everything that's on here is yours. Okay. So all of my contacts are there, and I don't like to have a lot of contacts. I like to have contacts that, other than family, I'll probably take the family out, but all the rest of the contacts are on there. So I want to have contacts that provide me with value and accept the value that I provide them. So I have Russell Brunson. I have his cell phone in here. I can text him back and forth. I'm going to leave that on there. So you have access to be able to text Russell Brunson, the guy who is co-founder of ClickFunnels. He wrote the Dotcom Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets, one of the best marketers in the world. Now, on top of that, I've got a few other contacts in here. Some of the best marketers in the world are all on here. And you have the ability to text them. Okay. So that might be worth $1,000, right? You can ask them anything you want. Hey, Russell, I was reading Dotcom Secrets and I had a question about hook, story, offer. How would you do this? If I did this, do you think that would work? Or what if we added this in there? I think that's a little bit better idea. And you can collaborate a little bit with Russell if I had that on there. Now, that's cool. Okay. That's kind of priceless, but that's cool. I'm going to still offer you this phone for $1,000. What if I said every course that I've ever bought since 2017 is going to be on here? Every marketing course, every entrepreneur course, I've spent thousands of dollars over the last few years. And it has taught me everything. It's gotten me to the point where I've quadrupled my business year after year after year. Okay. What if I told you everything that I've learned on how to grow my business? I have all those courses on here. All of the slide presentations, all of the video content from these courses, all of the PDF files that go along with these courses are on here. Okay. So that's thousands of dollars I've spent. You have access to all of it. Unlimited access to all of those courses. And I spent thousands of dollars. Okay. So not only are you going to have access to Russell Brunson and the rest of my friends that are some of the top marketers in the world, you also have access to all of those courses. Now that's really cool, right? But I want to one up that, right? Jim Edwards, who is a partner of Russell's, created a program called Funnel Scripts. Now, what Funnel Scripts is you have a questionnaire, and you put in a little bit of information, and it'll pump out a full script for Facebook ads, Facebook posts, social media posts, social media ads, Google ads, short and long sales letters, video sales letters, you name it. This has blog posts, which I don't use the blog post side. As you can see, the writing is not the best, but that's besides the point. But you can have blog posts, you can have podcast scripts. So if you're going to interview somebody, you can put in their information, a little bit of information of what the direction you want for this podcast, and it'll pump out a script for you. This program, it cost me $797 US. I'm in Canada, so $797 US. So just about $1,000 I paid for this. Okay. Again, you're going to have access to that on here. Okay. I also have the Marketing Secrets app on here that has all of Russell's trainings as well. So not only the trainings that I bought, I have all of Russell's trainings, podcast, everything that's on here. Now, would you pay $1,000 for this key 2 with all of that value on there? What if I had you in a room of other people and I wanted to take bids? Would you pay $2,000? How about 3? Would you pay more for all of that value? I mean, this is just the key 2. This is just a small product, a small phone, but everything on here, the perceived value that I just presented to you is worth way more than this phone. Yeah, you're getting the phone. It could be a very select few that have a BlackBerry still, but everything that you get with it is worth way, way, way more. Okay. So if you're doing a podcast, a blog, posting content, even doing a webinar, you want to be able to hook your audience in. Okay. So you want to throw out hooks into wherever your audience is congregated. So if you have a Facebook group full of your target audience, you're going to put some value in there, create a hook that these people are going to really grab onto. These people, now that hook has them interested. They want to see what you have to say. That's when you start telling your story, providing some value, showing them that you're an expert in your field. Then you have the ability to create an offer using that. Like I just used the offer stack method there. You can have this with this and this. This is going to cost you this, all of this. The value is $10,000, but I'm going to offer you this for $1,000. Okay. So I gave that little bit of an offer stack. I kept providing more value to make this phone seem like it's worth way more than it actually is. They're actually going for $1,200, believe it or not. Probably not worth $400 or $500, but everything on here is worth way more than that. And a lot of people would spend that $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, and even more to have this. So they have access to everything I just talked about on this phone, on this BlackBerry. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Be mindful of what you're posting and how you're posting. You want to have that hook to bring people in. You want to tell a little bit of a story, kind of relate with get your audience to relate with you, then providing with a ton of value. Once you provided that value, you've positioned yourself now as that expert. And from there, you can make an offer and sell whatever you're having. So everything I talked about right now is in this book. It is in Dotcom Secrets. Okay. It's a hardcover, really nice book. And the best part, Russell gives this book away for free. This book here is free. It literally has some of the best secrets in the world when it comes to online marketing and marketing your business online. And he's giving it to you for free. So that's what I want to offer you. Okay. Not even anything of mine. I want to offer you Russell's book, and we're going to give it to you for free. Okay. So you'll hear the outro and I talk a little bit more about that, but it doesn't get any better than a free book. Even still, it's an amazing read. And this is a textbook. Now, this one's not doctored up. My other one that I have a second one that I have all those little tabs in it, and that's more my textbook. But these ones I like to keep nice and pristine because it's a really good book. So that's all I had to talk to you about today. I wanted to talk to you about the hook story offer method of trying to relate and sell to your audience and market to your audience. So hopefully you got some value out of this today. And if you did, leave a comment and let me know what you thought on all of the social media channels. They're all out there. So hopefully you enjoyed this podcast, and I can't wait to chat with you again next week. Hold up one quick second. I want to give you a free book. Now, this book that I want to give you is probably one of the best books I've ever read. And it's a book that I use constantly, not only as just a great read, but I use it as a textbook in my business every single day. That's a book by Brunson called Dotcom Secrets. It's the first book he wrote in the series, the trilogy that he wrote with Dotcom Secrets, Expert Secrets, and Traffic Secrets. Now, these three books combined, to me, is better than any university education when it comes to marketing. It is filled with everything you need to know to market your business. And I want to give you Dotcom Secrets for free right now. So all you have to do is click the link in the description of this podcast or YouTube video, and you will see the link to get your free version of Dotcom Secrets. And believe me, you will not be disappointed. This is one of the best books I've ever read. Hopefully you enjoy Dotcom Secrets, and I'll chat with you again next week.